What's going on, guys? Bart here with Working the Shoot. Attempt number 3 at making this video. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing. I hope today is the day we earn that subscription down below. You hit the red subscribe bar. And we're going to go over what happened on Raw and SmackDown this past week. And we're going to try to be a little bit more proactive, active on this channel, so to speak. We're going to be obviously covering PLEs. We're going to be adding more wrestling spotlights throughout the year. And primarily cover Raw and SmackDown in a weekly type of review. For those who are looking for TNA type of reviews and pay-per-view reviews, I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you that I'm not sure how much of that I'm really going to be covering here at the channel. Unless it's something really groundbreaking news or something like that with a signing or some sort of wild title change or something like that. I may, when I do wrestler spotlights, spotlight an AEW wrestler, so to speak, and talk about their career. But as far as any of the shows, they just have never really been able to grab my attention for an extended amount of time. And at this point, there's some talent that's really made me turn off from the programming, like Mercedes Moné, like the Young Bucks. I'm really not a Young Bucks fan. Really wasn't a Jack Perry fan. That whole situation turned me off from AEW. I'm not saying the WWE is any better with how they handle stories as of late, or their talent that they have. They're really no better in a lot of ways, but some of the things that the WWE does is better than AEW, in my opinion. And I might occasionally give TNA a spotlight here too, depending on certain things. I'm considering maybe giving some NXT some more love over the year too. You know, there's some talent down there also, but just kind of a general view of how I'm thinking about handling the channel from here on out this year. Of course, things are always subject to change. Card is subject to change, right? But let's get into this week's Raw and SmackDown. We're going to talk about some of the more major things that have happened, right, or talked about. Go over some of the matches. We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, currently one of the best entrance themes. And they recently won the women's tag team gold, and they're out celebrating, doing their thing, right? A lot of people may think that they're, you know, enjoying each other's time, you know, coming together. Right, you see what I did there, right? Because I'm immature. And three teams that felt like they should be like trying to get the gold came out and interrupted the celebration, okay, so to speak. We have Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, all right, saying they deserve a shot at the titles. Kabuki Warriors deserve a shot at the titles. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez are saying they deserve a shot at the titles, and they all give their reasons. All pretty valid reasons for the most part to try to be the number one contender. But only one team stepped out victorious and will be facing the WWE Women's Tag Team holders. Now, I do forget at this present moment when that is going to happen. I'm assuming maybe the match will happen at Royal Rumble. Or it may happen next week on Raw, because sometimes WWE doesn't like to tell us when certain matches are going on. So there's that. And as far as like the winner, I think I did mention that's Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. I highly doubt they're going to win the title the tag team title match, okay? Because of Rhea and Io just recently winning them, and I don't see them being a transitional champion champion team to just hand it over to Liv Morgan and Roxanne. So I'm not expecting much for Liv and Roxanne at this point as far as winning those titles. But they may one day get them back, but I don't think that they're going to be beating Rhea and Neo anytime soon. Just my opinion. Again, you let me know down below. We also had a CM Punk and Finn Balor confrontation through in the show, because Liv Morgan and Roxanne, when they went back, Finn was playing video games, and Liv is like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, thought you was gonna try to lead us or whatever." And Dom is out, and we're trying to go for titles and stuff. And what are you doing, bro? And that prompted Finn to come out when CM Punk was out there and challenge him for a shot at the title. And it'd be really interesting to see how this turns out, because when Finn hurt his shoulder all those years ago, after winning the Universal title, being the first Universal title holder, he never really got a fair shake after that as far as getting back into the title picture on a regular basis. And I feel like this can be a good rivalry if they stick to it and give it some time. Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, aka one of the founders of the Bullet Club, versus CM Punk. You can't really get better wrestlers to have a feud with each other than this, right? So I'm interested in how this dynamic works out. They will be in Ireland this upcoming week, and see how that plays out as far as the match there is concerned. But I'm not expecting, much like Liv and Roxanne at this point, I'm not expecting Finn to win the title on Monday Night Raw. But I feel like if given enough time to get a proper story going on, we may, you know what I mean? How about Finn wins the title at the Royal Rumble when Dom returns, right? And Dom comes and clocks CM Punk out and all this other stuff. Judgment Day interferes and Finn wins. Holy moly, wouldn't that be pretty crazy at the Royal Rumble? I don't know if they're going to do something like that, but I feel like you could fit the return of Dom from his injury into that story, thus making Finn be able to win while still making CM Punk look strong. I'm just a small bird town lawyer. I'm just a small town bird lawyer, is what I was trying to say before I totally fudged it up. We had a match of Javon Evans versus Bravo Americano. Not to be confused with El Grande Americano, okay? El Grande Americano is the best luchador wrestler in the history of luchador wrestling. And Bravo Americano, obviously, is under his tutelage, I guess. That's how that's going. But good match overall. Wasn't too long. Wasn't too, it was a decent match. And Javon Evans wins. Newer addition to Raw, a younger talent. So let's see. They're giving him some wins. So let's see where they lead him, where they bring him. Where is his final destination going to lay? One of the other matches that we had. Oh wait, before we get into that, because that's the main event. we have a Gunther versus AJ match, and this was set up because of Gunther being a total idiot and a-hole basically ever since he beat John Cena, making him tap like a bee, and AJ got tired of it because in one of his responses, he was like, John and I may not have always seen eye to eye, but we did see eye to eye on respect. And I respected John, even though we may have been adversaries. Um, but he's not here to defend himself, so I'm going to try to make you understand that I'm here to defend his honor, so to speak. And there's an interesting thing in which Gunther tapped out to Jimmy Uso, bro. Like, you got tapped out by the Yeet Master, bro. The Yeet Master you got tapped out by. But you met. I mean, yes, you couldn't win against Jimmy Uso, but you won against John Cena. So what does that? Does that mean Jimmy Uso's the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? Oh, wow. Uso's the GOAT, bro. Damn. However, this match ended in such a people don't like that word. Ridiculous way that had me like baffled that you had AJ look like such an amateur. AJ gets up after having Gunther in a submission hold, right? And then he claims as he got up and released the submission hold that he felt Gunther tap out. But the referee didn't ring the bell or indicate that at all. And he ended up losing the match because of it, because then Gunther attacked him and pinned him in 1, 2, 3 type of thing going on there, right? Why would AJ do that? AJ, this is what I'm talking about with writing sometimes. It doesn't make sense. AJ would have held on until he heard that bell ring and the referee say, let go, let go, let go. What wrestler would let go of a submission move they haven't in solidly and let go before the ref or the bell is rung or anything? They made AJ look like a dummy here. But again, they've made AJ look like a dummy a lot of times throughout the years. I almost feel bad this is his last year before he retires because I just hope that they don't continue doing this to him because it really made him look stupid. And AJ Styles is not a stupid wrestler. He's actually one of the best wrestlers in the world in recent years, in recent decades. All right, some may say he's even better than John Cena, like for real. So yeah, I don't know why that happened that way, other than stupid writing, lazy booking, as Mr. Cornette would say. Now, the last match ties into the running theme of one of the running themes of the episode, which is Braun Breaker being mad that he lost against CM Punk. And that Adam Pearce, the general manager of Raw, is warning Paul Heyman that Braun Breaker should just stay home and not cause any problems, okay? Coming here and causing issues. Oh, well, Paul Heyman. Oh, well, who am I? Da 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 da. The slimy techniques used by Mr. Heyman, right, for his clients. You gotta love Paul Heyman, bro. He's never really mixed words with what he was about, bro. And you kind of knew he was always one of those guys that would tell you anything he's always had this reputation from even back in the ECW that he'll say anything to you to get you to do what he wants you to do. So much so that Tommy Dreamer, almost on a live pay-per-view at a WrestleMania, almost purchased tickets to WrestleMania to Paul Heyman on live TV. That's how much Tommy Dreamer felt that Paul Heyman ruined his life. That's what Paul Heyman brings out in people in real life. Okay, holy moly. But in the final match, it was Penta and Dragon Lee versus Division members Bronson Reed and Jake Paul. Okay. Or it might have been, Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. Sorry. I forget which one. But all three members of the Division were there, not Braun Breaker yet. And so, finally, Braun Breaker does make his way. It takes out Dragon Lee, takes out Penta, going nuts, right? Adam Pearce is coming down, and at one point when Braun is like, doing all that flexing and posing, Adam Pearce spins him around. He's like, "You're suspended. Get out of here, pal. You're out of here." Right, all that stuff. And Braun Breaker and they all get out of there. And in the back, you see Adam still like cussing and fussing. And Paul Heyman is like, "I don't know why you think Braun's going to get suspended. You lead." Because Braun wanted up suplexing Adam or something like that. And he's like, "You're the one that touched Braun first, though. He was just defending himself." And so we're going to leave that on a cliffhanger and see how that plays out for next week's Raw. Ay, 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 ay. On to SmackDown. Pretty interesting SmackDown. We get Drew sharing his thoughts about winning the title from Cody last week. He reminds the fans to not cheer him. Because where were they when he lost his job? Where was he when he was facing CM Punk? Where were the fans all these other times? He's like, "I don't need cheers for you. I just need myself." Reminding us that he's a heel. And you should remind everyone he's a heel. That's the best Drew McIntyre that we can get. Drew McIntyre being the heel, the troll, the menace, the diabolical Scottishman. That's the Scotsman we need. Right? So, we also get Cody Rhodes in and talking about what happened with him and Fatu and Drew. And he's declaring himself as the first participant to join this year's Royal Rumble. Meaning, I think he's just throwing his name into the Royal Rumble. Not that he's going to be number one. But we won't know that until the Royal Rumble comes, obviously, right? Just based off of the luck of the draw type of thing. But what winds up happening also in this episode is that we have 4 different matches that were turned into 2 different matches to get the winner of the number one contendership for Drew's title there. And so we got Randy Orton defeating The Miz. We got Trick that, whoop that trick, whoop that trick, whoop that trick. We got Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. Of course, Trick wins. Trick Williams, brother, keep up the great work, man. We had Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, and Damian Priest wins that. Sami Zayn versus Dragunov, and Sami wins that. So, that means then the 4 winners, there's going to be 2 one-on-one matches, and then I guess the winner from that remaining will go kind of like a tournament style, right? So I'm kind of hoping for a Sami Zayn win. Um, it would be interesting to see Damian Priest though, because of the whole Money in the Bank cash in on Drew. I think that would be a better callback for his first title defense. But you guys let me know, out of the four winners, Randy Orton, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, or Sami Zayn, who are you looking for to be the number one contender out of this, right? For Drew's first title defense. Um, then we have a couple ladies matches here. A tag team match between Flair and Bliss versus Julia and Kiana James, with Flair and Bliss winning that. I've enjoyed their little tag team together. It's good to get Flair out of the women's title picture in that regard, and give her kind of the odd couple type of pairing with Alexa Bliss that's worked pretty well so far, in my opinion. And it's kind of gotten Flair over when she hasn't really been over with the fans for a while. So I think Charlotte's doing pretty well, allowing herself to be in a position of vulnerability, right? To where she doesn't have to be the top star, but still be proactive in a story and win and stuff like that. So I'm digging that. And then we had Jordan Grace versus Chelsea, with Jordan Grace winning. I like Jordan Grace. She's got a good look to her, shredded. I'd like to see her kind of be a dominant force in the women's title, or on SmackDown at least for the time being. That'd be pretty interesting to see where that goes. And Carmelo Hayes had a successful a successful title defense versus Leon Slater, because he had an open challenge for the title. And that's where we're at right now. Out of the SmackDown, I dug the Drew thing, the Cody thing. The triple threat match was pretty decent between the women's tag team titles, right? They're trying to get Trick up there on the TV. They're trying to get Carmelo up there on the TV. I think SmackDown is doing a little bit better with some of their stuff than Raw is doing this week. So I think SmackDown edges out Raw a little bit here, or at least a little bit, with more interesting matches and more interesting things that can happen in the upcoming episodes. But you let me know what you think of this week's review of Raw and SmackDown. I think so far it's been okay, right? It's only been 2 weeks into the new year, and we are on the road to WrestleMania. I did put up a retro review of the first Royal Rumble. I'll leave that link down in the description box. Let me again know what you guys think of what we talked about here. And until next time, peace. Peace.